Good evening. Welcome to California Today. We're happy to have you on the show. I'm David Lam, sitting in for Liang Zhang. Here's a preview of some of today's stories. 3 people have been charged in a freeway shooting near Oakland. The shooting happened last year and took the life of a toddler. California is aggressively moving towards being carbon-free. The goal is to move away from gas cars and invest more in EV charging. A reservoir in the Bay Area is getting some upgrades. A new tunnel aims to strengthen an existing dam and prevent overflow. 3 people have been charged for a freeway gang battle last year, which killed a toddler. Authorities provided more details in a press conference.
Prosecutors on Thursday announced charges against 3 people responsible for a gun battle between rival gangs on a freeway last year. The shooting left a toddler dead. Jasper was killed last November on Interstate 880 in Oakland when his mother's car got caught in the crossfire. He was just weeks away from turning 2 years old.
On November 6th, California Highway Patrol officers responded to the type of call that those of us that wear a badge dread responding to. The death of an innocent child due to senseless violence. The brazen crime that caused Jasper's life to be cut short after only 23 months shocked us all.
The Alameda County District Attorney's Office filed murder charges Thursday against Trevor Green, Ivory Bivens, and Johnny Jackson. A 4th suspect was killed in a separate shooting last month. District Attorney Nancy O'Malley said the defendants are part of the rival Chopper City and Eddie Rock gangs out of San Francisco.
That in this particular case, and we hope in all cases, that there were people who were on the freeway at the time the shooting occurred or the shootout was going on. And people called and gave descriptions. And that's critically important for law enforcement, especially at or near the time. Obviously not putting themselves in harm's way, but calling and letting law enforcement know what they're witnessing, license plates or cars or just the activity is really beneficial and goes far in helping to solve these crimes.
Prosecutors said a shot was fired from one gang member's car and missed the other gang member's vehicle. Instead, the stray bullet went through the windshield of the Wu family's car. The bullet was found lodged in the seat behind Jasper's car seat.
Thanks to the U.S. government, thanks to the police officers, as well as everyone who has shown compassion from the society for this tragedy. Thank you all.
Green and Bivens are in custody on other charges in Contra Costa County and will be transferred to Alameda County for this case. Jackson was arrested Wednesday on a warrant and arraigned Friday. It was not immediately clear whether the suspects had attorneys who could speak on their behalf.
California announced that it will invest almost $3 billion to significantly build up the state's electric vehicle charging infrastructure. NTD's Jason Blair has more.
California approved $2.9 billion on Wednesday to build 90,000 more EV charging stations in the state. This will more than double the current 80,000. Governor Gavin Newsom said in a press release, quote, "California is bringing our roads and highways into the 21st century with electric vehicle chargers in every community, in every corner of our state." 90,000 more chargers will put the state at about 2/3 of the way to its goal of having 250,000 by 2025. Patty Monahan, California's Energy Commission's lead commissioner for transportation, said in a statement, quote, "This transformative investment will deploy charging and refueling infrastructure swiftly and equitably to make sure drivers of zero-emission cars and trucks feel confident they can refuel wherever they go." A $1 trillion infrastructure bill passed last year allocates $5 billion to help states install more EV chargers along interstate highways over a period of 5 years. According to a study by Advanced Vehicles, most EV owners primarily charge their vehicles at home. With the drivers they studied, about 85% of charging time was spent at home and about 15% was away. When going on long drives or road trips, there have been complaints of slow charge times, long lines, and issues reporting accurate information on how fast the charging station is ahead of time. Rachel Wolf of the Wall Street Journal reported in June that during a round trip from New Orleans to Chicago in an EV, she said, quote, "I spent more time charging it than I did sleeping." California announced in August that by 2035, all new vehicles sold in the state must be all electric or plug-in electric hybrids.
Staying on the same issue, state air regulators approved an aggressive plan Thursday to reach carbon neutrality within 3 decades. It's in line with legislation signed by Governor Gavin Newsom earlier this year. Known as the Scoping Plan, it looks to move the 4th largest economy in the world to renewable energy and away from fossil fuels. The goal is a 94% drop in demand for liquid petroleum fuel, mainly driven by a move away from gas-powered vehicles. The California Air Resources Board says the plan will create 4 million jobs and save Californians $200 billion in health costs for pollution-related illnesses by 2045. Skeptics are criticizing the plan for a reliance on carbon capture, a technology they say is unproven and unworkable. Board members acknowledge that the plan is a roadmap and that not all of what is laid out may come to fruition. A tech industry group is challenging a new California law. The group says the law could violate the Constitution and harm kids.
NetChoice, a tech industry group including Meta and Google, has filed a complaint challenging California's Age-Appropriate Design Code Act. The law in question, Assembly Bill 2273, was signed into law earlier this year. It requires companies to identify and mitigate speech that is harmful or potentially harmful to children, and prioritize speech that promotes the best interests and well-being of users. But NetChoice claims AB 2273 will subject global platforms to, quote, state supervision. The complaint states, if firms guess the meaning of these inherently subjective terms wrong or simply reach different conclusions than do government regulators, the state is empowered to impose crushing financial penalties. The complaint also accuses AB 2273 of violating the First Amendment, the Fourth Amendment, as well as the right to due process. A spokesperson for Attorney General Rob Bonta told The Hill that, quote, "We are reviewing the complaint and look forward to defending this important children's safety law in court."
Construction crews are building a huge tunnel in the largest of 10 reservoirs in Santa Clara County. Representatives say the project will strengthen and rebuild the dam's construction, minimizing risk to the county's population in case of earthquakes and overflow. I was on site Thursday to dig up the story. This is the Anderson Reservoir as it sits in Morgan Hill, California at 3% capacity. The Valley Water Agency began draining its water to start work on a seismic retrofit project, closing it from public use. Now, this tunnel excavation project is renovating the largest reservoir that supplies water to Santa Clara County. Stage 1 of the project began on November 9th and requires construction crews excavating a tunnel 20 feet in diameter. It will then be fitted with a 13-foot pipe inside it, allowing it for quick release of water.
Yeah, the tunnel is about 1,750 feet long. There's a couple different sizes as it moves through in diameter.
Ryan McCarter, who's with the Dam Safety Division with Valley Water, says analysis shows that the 1950-built dam can face issues under seismic events due to earthquake-prone California.
So right where we're standing will actually be an outlet structure where the water will come out from the reservoir. Just up above here, we have the tunnel that's under construction now that will house the pipeline and convey the water from the reservoir to this point. And then it'll be discharged out here into Coyote Creek.
Water supply is critical at this particular time while we're still experiencing a heavy drought.
The project costs about $1.2 billion.
Again, our valley is growing. We have more people coming in. You see more housing going up throughout the valley. And so water supply is of immense importance to everybody. So it's important that this project, along with other projects that we're engaged in, are completed in a timely manner.
While the Anderson Dam hasn't shown signs of failure, another dam in Northern California did. In 2017, the Oroville Dam in the Sierra Nevada faced a spillway failure due to record-setting rain. It forced 188,000 people to evacuate and caused $1 billion in damage repairs. This phase of the Anderson project is expected to be completed in 2024. The entire seismic retrofit, 10 years.
We've got a lot of people working on it behind the scenes. I'm just one of many. We've got up to 30 people that are involved with this on a daily basis. It's a huge undertaking, and we're working very, very hard on it.
They plan to fill the Anderson Reservoir, which is now drained down to its dead pool level, with a nearby reservoir later on. It would then be open to the public again. David Lamb, NTD News, Morgan Hill, California. The state's largest water supplier is declaring a drought emergency for all of Southern California. Residents are again asked to cut back even more on water usage.
The Southern California Metropolitan Water District declared a regional drought emergency on Wednesday for all of Southern California. The entire region is asked to further cut back water use as drought conditions continue to stress all imported water supplies. In a statement, the Metropolitan General Manager said, "If we don't have an extremely wet winter, we will need to elevate to our highest level, a water supply allocation for all of Southern California. Substantial and immediate conservation now and in the coming months will help lessen the potential severity of such an allocation." On average, about half of Southern California's water comes from the Colorado River and the Northern Sierra. This week, the upper basin of the Colorado River proposed a water conservation program amid severe drought. The Water Board warned the declaration could become mandatory if drought conditions persist in the upcoming months. Southern Californians are encouraged to reconsider watering outdoors during the winter, since cooler temperatures and wetter weather would require less watering. By April, people would need to cut imported water use or face steep fees from purchased water.
Now we're going to take a short break, but here's a look at what we've got for you when we come back. In a few more days, Title 42 will expire. One former ICE official anticipates a wave of illegal immigrants crossing the southern border. A judge recently ruled that some of the rejected signatures in the Los Angeles DA recall can be examined. This follows multiple failed recall attempts. And Christmas is fast approaching. Nationwide, people are decorating with lights and trees. In Hollywood, there are certain colors shoppers are going for. That and more on California Today. Welcome back to California Today. I'm your host, David Lamb. Title 42, a Trump-era policy, is ending next week. Governor Gavin Newsom and a former immigration official say this could lead to a flood of immigrants crossing the U.S.-Mexico border.
Title 42 was enacted to prevent the spread of COVID-19 and allow Border Patrol to quickly deport illegal immigrants. Newsom blamed Republicans for the border crisis and defended the president's decision to lift Title 42. But he said both parties need to take action to address the border crisis, as the system is already overwhelmed. Tom Homan, the former acting director of Immigration and Customs Enforcement, or ICE, tells a different story. He said that Newsom and California's policies on illegal immigration are not helping the situation. Homan told the Epoch Times in a text message that the policies he created in California, such as being a sanctuary state, a state that issues state ID, a new policy that provides free medical care to illegal aliens, in-state tuition, and many more, act as an enticement to illegal immigration. According to the Department of Homeland Security, Title 42's expiration could lead to approximately 9,000 to 14,000 illegal immigrants crossing the border daily.
Say hello to 4 new mountain lion kittens born in the Santa Monica Mountains. They are the new residents in the area and part of an ongoing research on the mountain lions.
The National Park Service announced a new addition to the Santa Monica Mountains. It's a kitten litter of all-female cubs. Their names are P109, P110, P111, and P112, and they all appear healthy. They were discovered in a rocky area of the Santa Monica Mountains while the mother, P99, was away. One biologist followed the mother while colleagues approached the den area where the kittens were located. This was to conduct an examination on the kitten's status. To make sure the biologists didn't encounter the mother, they remained in constant radio contact. The kittens are part of a 20-year research study on mountain lions. Included in the study were also 2 captured adult female mountain lions.
Now, if you're boarding a plane to get to your holiday destination, consider booking a flight through these best airports to get there. Forbes Advisor listed several California airports considered the best.
To help travelers prepare for holiday trips, Forbes Advisor analyzed 100 of the busiest airports. 4 of California's airports topped the list as the best. They are Long Beach, San Jose International, Sacramento International, and Oakland International. Key metrics of the rating include customer complaints, flight delays and cancellations, mishandled baggage, recent increases in ticket costs, and more. Other California airports in the list include San Francisco International at 7th place, Los Angeles International Airport at 47th, and Hollywood Burbank Airport ranking 91st. According to AAA, holiday travel is expected to increase this year, with an estimated 7.2 million Americans flying to their destinations.
It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. Twinkling lights and sparkling decorations are what people recognize the Christmas holiday for. In Hollywood, there are certain colors shoppers are buying, regardless of the high inflation prices.
It's that time of year. Christmas carols and colorful lights fill the streets. This year, shoppers in Hollywood went all out with a sparkling white winter wonderland theme, complete with clear glass and crystals. Social media is spreading the Snow White trend and allowing for any color. For Hollywood shoppers, decorations come in different colors. Third-generation owner of Aldeck Home in Van Nuys, California, Brian Gold, says he's noticing this trend too.
A celebration of color, really. So vibrant colors, pinks, purples, blues, and then using some kind of different colors that you wouldn't expect to be Christmas colors, like blacks and deep gunmetal grays. And then snow trees have been very popular this year.
Gold's store typically takes 5 months to prepare for the Christmas season. He also says people are willing to pay for his top holiday decor despite inflation.
Prices are up a little bit from last year. A lot of that these past couple of years has been the ocean freight pricing. So things like Christmas trees have gone up certainly than years before. But we carry the highest quality trees, and so people understand that those are going to carry a premium price tag.
Beverly Hills Conference and Visitors Bureau CEO Julie Wagner echoes Gold's sentiment.
The National Retail Federation showed that intent to shop in person this year has certainly increased over 2021. In 2022, the intent was 67% versus 2021, which was only 64%. So I think people really do want to get out and shop and enjoy.
After 2 years of COVID restrictions and high global prices affecting shoppers' wallets this year, it now seems like nothing is stopping people from experiencing holidays with their loved ones, not even high-priced Christmas decor.
As the weather gets colder, people can look to a cup of hot chocolate to warm up on a chilly day. One restaurant in Sacramento topped the list for hot chocolate in Yelp reviews. The CEO said the use of the best ingredients is the key.
According to Yelp reviews, a restaurant in Sacramento topped the list of the top 25 places for hot chocolate across the US and Canada. The place is called Ginger Elizabeth Chocolates. It sells multiple versions of the warm, chocolatey drink. Ginger Han, the CEO of the restaurant, told KTLA that using the best ingredients is the key for the top ranking. We put so much time and energy into our hot chocolates. It is sure wonderful to be recognized. 2 other restaurants from California, the Chocolate Dragon Bittersweet Cafe and Bakery in Oakland and Amara Chocolate and Coffee in Pasadena, ranked 7th and 8th places respectively.
Now to NTD's Thomas Christian for your sports roundup.
I'm Thomas Christian, giving you the California Today Sports Roundup.
Golden State superstar guard Stephen Curry will miss a few weeks with a left shoulder injury sustained during Wednesday night's game. An official timeline has yet to be released. Curry suffered the injury in the third quarter of Golden State's loss to the Indiana Pacers while going for a steal. He exited and did not return. Warriors coach Steve Kerr said Curry would have an MRI on Thursday. The report did not indicate the exact results of the MRI, but surgery is not needed. It will mark the first time this season that Curry misses multiple games in a row. Curry finished with a game-high 38 points in Wednesday night's loss despite playing just 30 minutes. He had 7 rebounds and 7 assists in the 125-119 loss. The 34-year-old is in the midst of another MVP-caliber season. He's averaging 30.0 points per game, a pace that would mark just his third season ever of averaging 30-plus points per game if he were to finish there. He's also shooting exactly 50% from the floor, well above his career average of 47.4%, and 43.4% from three-point range, also above his career average of 42.8%. Despite all of Curry's best efforts, the Warriors are just 14-15 heading into Friday's game against the Philadelphia 76ers. Now they will have to adjust to absorb Curry's absence or risk falling out of the playoff picture uncharacteristically early for a reigning champion. Rookie quarterback Brock Purdy never doubted he'd take the field for the 49ers with a chance at winning a division title. But how long Purdy would be able to play through his oblique injury lingered all night in the mind of San Francisco coach Kyle Shanahan. Purdy threw a pair of touchdown passes to George Kittle, and the 49ers won their first NFC West title since 2019, beating the Seattle Seahawks 21-13 on Thursday night. Despite using their third starting quarterback this season, the 49ers continue to show they might be the class of the NFC alongside Philadelphia. San Francisco won its 7th straight, using its stifling defense to frustrate Seattle into countless mistakes. The Niners got a handful of big plays from their rookie quarterback, who didn't make any throws during the limited practice time leading into the game. Purdy finished 17 of 26 for 217 yards, joining Aaron Rodgers as the only quarterback since at least the 1950s to have a passer rating of at least 115 in each of their first 2 starts. Kittle had 4 catches for 93 yards, and Christian McCaffrey rushed for 108 yards, including a 1-yard touchdown in the final minute of the first half following a Seattle turnover. 49ers 21, Seahawks 13.
And that's all for sports.
That's all we've got for you tonight. We'd like for you to join us again on California Today every weekday at 8:30 p.m. Make sure to check out our broadcasts on our California Today webpage. You can find it at ntd.com/California-today. You can also find all of our top latest clips there, ready to share with friends and family. Send us a message on Twitter, Facebook, or Instagram, or through our email, california.today@ntd.com. I'm David Lam, sitting in for Liang Jing. Have a wonderful weekend.